guys, welcome back to the Island Vybe podcast. I'm Phillicia and this is my co-host AJ. And today we have a very interesting topic to get right into. So we just want to talk a bit about our culture and Carnival. So AJ, take it away.
So we know that this year, because of the COVID pandemic, we will not unfortunately having a carnival, say emoji, So, and many people don't like that. I mean, many people want to think about how could we cancel Carnival?
Yeah,
that was the first thing early on last year.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, it cancelled. Can't do anything about it now, right? Can't take your days off. It's not a public holiday, even though people saying how they
Why
take
is it marked? just to like pause. Why is it marked then? Like, why is it there?
It's there because most people will get a holiday because of all the mass and the hurrah to be in the streets, but it's not like a national bank holiday per se. Okay. Right? But many places will be affected because of the celebrations and all the carnival hurrah that happens every year. But some people are saying, oh, they're taking their 2 days still.
As
right?
they should.
I mean, they're taking their 2 days still. They're saying it is it's their cultural rights.
As
right?
they should.
That's between them and their employer and their teachers and whoever. But for many people, they decide, okay, we're going to have carnival still. It just won't be physical and it will just be virtual. Now, a virtual carnival,
I don't know what to feel about that.
In 2021, right, after many things, many advancements in the carnival festivities and parties and fetes and celebrations and occurrences, and now it's like no more virtual. How do you feel about that?
I don't know how to feel about that. Is like, I get the point. I agree with it not having a carnival.
Right.
And I understand that the virtual aspect, kind of help to keep some of the culture there, or let the citizens know that, all hope is not lost. Like, we're still trying something. We giving you something. Yeah, we giving you something. Be grateful.
But some people is like, nah, they don't know how to survive carnival.
And that's so understandable, because for me, I'm a person that I've never participated in any carnival celebration. I never even went to a school jump up and nothing, So for me, I don't really care.
So you don't care about your 2 days? They could have potentially been home.
Hello, I've been home for a year.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, home not doing anything. No school, no work.
Been home not doing anything for a year.
Nice life. So as you said, Carnival is moving virtually this year. So, I mean, lots of people are going to be affected, especially those who are seasonally employed. That's a big thing. The people who are going to be hit the most with it. People who, they're not going to make
people
anything.
Who benefit most off of that season.
According to the ministry, they were saying how over 10,000 people will be out of jobs this year because of Carnival, right? And this is from artisans to artists to even the simple the vendors, and it's all indirectly connected to like restaurants, right? Hotels, right? The whole tourism sector.
Especially the tourism sector, because Carnival is what drives the most of our,
Nobody buying clothes. Can nobody have anything to go? Nobody's ever think about that.
Nobody's buying anything.
Exactly, right? Especially these places downtown, right? Yeah. That they live for that carnival season to make a significant amount of their income and revenue.
Yeah.
So it all has a problem with the virtual, and many people don't like it. But then, besides that, we're not ignoring that. But besides that, some people saying, could you have a true Trinidadian carnival virtually?
No, it will never be true. It will never be the same vibe we go and wine pon.
Some people just want the vibes and to remember
it will never be the same. Come on, AJ.
Okay.
It will never be the same.
What about for the people who they want to listen to music and things like that, so they'll sit there. I mean, one of the ministers said, sit down in their home and fets. Like,
bowl.
Well, yeah, that's right, home and fets.
Bowl.
So we have that aspect, again, tears for that aspect of the carnival that is what we have known is now going to be lost. But what about the people who are trying to have physical carnival events?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about these Zesters and Westers who do it privately. I'm talking about
like the people who trying to do social distancing we
are still adhering to all the
COVID regulations.
Regulations in the public health ordinance, right? We get the ministry's blessing, we get the Ministry of Health blessing, we get the Ministry of Culture blessing. We got Gary Griffith's blessing.
Once, you're in the right. You're in the right.
You're in the right?
Yeah.
So is it safe though? Would that still be considered a super spreader event?
I feel Trinidadians or people on a whole, they like to pick and choose what is safe or not. So, like, a fete or a party or a line that is clearly being socially distanced and they adhering to all the COVID regulations, etc. Right. How is that different from going to church? Or how is that different from going to school?
That's a good question.
Like...
Well, they are open in school.
Exactly. Like, how is it different from mingling with the public when we go shopping? Some people, they jam up on you so them and know 6 feet apart social distancing. Like, there is literally no way to fully stop that aspect of it. Like, you can't stop life and everything. So, like, for you to say, oh, well, they're wrong for doing something like that, I feel like once you're adhering to the regulations, they aren't wrong. Because if they are wrong, then don't open back schools, don't have church. Like, that's just as...
Because you're still having church, you're still having weddings.
You are still having any occasion that has a gathering. It might not be... everybody might be socially distanced, but there are still people in that gathering.
Well, I feel that is where Second Star, one of our local carnival soca artists, and he would have hosted his annual Second Sunday, and he would have hosted it at Queen's Hall. Now that was an event that was under lots of scrutiny.
Okay, I was not going to ask that.
However, I know persons who went and I watched it live. I was like, let me see how this is going to work. I watched it on Facebook. And I thought it was put on well. The show itself was good, right? He really tried to bring in the whole cultural aspect of Carnival, but I feel as if it was a template for other people to mimic how they're going to put on the event. But some people are still saying, no, but they still have people gathering.
I think that this is my honest opinion on this entire situation, including the choice of the soca artists. Like, Trinidadians, they are very ignorant and they don't take into consideration the fact that, again, he is following all the guidelines for where COVID and the regulations of the country is considered. Right. And they criticize whatever they want to criticize. They will say, oh, well, that's not necessary or something like that. But I commend him because I know that he know that it will have backlash, one. But two, he found an innovative way to make revenue for himself. Right. And not only that, I'm positive that money would have gone into certain things. So like renting Queen's Hall and certain things, the money would have been pumped back simply into our economy in some way. Not in a big way, but things would have happened that it would have basically showed that all hope again is not lost, and there are different ways that we could, approach this pandemic, not losing our culture, but also, not being confined to the walls of your home because we are in a pandemic, but doing it safely. So I commend him for doing that. And the Trinidadians that, don't have anything good to say, I'm pretty sure that the reason being is because they are ignorant. Plain talk. Because you can't...
Or they weren't there.
Yeah, because you can't... You could never criticize that but not criticize any other gathering. Even in groceries.
Yeah, that's again, that's the next conversation. So people just want to pick and choose
what
they want to adhere and obey the rules of the land.
The same people who will say, oh no, don't do this, no, don't do that. They are the ones that will take off their masks and say, you don't know me, I know you. Them is the same people who just take off their masks. I don't want to hear nobody, boy. Shucks.
And
they pick and choose too much.
But even though it was a private event, think of all the artists who were involved, the technical workers involved, the artisans involved. They would have made something. And even these artists also who wasn't able to perform for about what, 6 months, 9 months?
Yeah.
And
that gives them hope.
It gives them hope, even though it's not clear. Obviously, they're not going to have plenty more fets for them to perform and make a great amount of money.
But it does also give them an avenue as well. So they'll be like, I performed at this show and it was okay. Now I could probably join up with some other people, cut the expenses, give everybody the same performance time, and we pump with a show as well.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with it. I think it's a good idea.
But that was a private event. Now the National Carnival Commission, they said, one of their spokespersons would have said, no, they are not going to do anything virtual because they said how they're not going to use the taxpayers' money to pay only 5 people to put on a virtual event. So think of all those virtual concerts they are having being sponsored by different corporations, right? Online, on YouTube and things like that. It doesn't really take much people to put on those things. About 5 people in the room, right? And they are saying how they're not going to use taxpayers' money so that only 5 people could benefit. They says either the masses benefit or no one benefit, because they say it's not fair. So what they're going to do is they're going to try and implement things that are not going to require money, but at the same time, that's still...
But yeah,
you're not living it up. You're not living up the Carnival season.
But again, I think sponsorship is a thing. Let certain artists sign deals with certain companies.
But not only artists. Think about like the little workers, like the vendors, the technical workers, technical staff. Right?
Yes, but when a company is sponsoring an event, if they sponsor half of the event, the whole event, if they say they could do this for $100,000, and they pump that into that event, that means that they should be able to pay the little technical workers and stuff too. It depends on the sponsorship, but again, there are big companies, big businesses that could help to sponsor 1 or 2 shows, that it does not rely solely on the taxpayers' dollars, especially in a time like this.
I know. I mean, they're still having some events, like they're having like the Chutney Show coming up. They have it's virtual. They're having different Carnival theatre shows. Well, I guess that'll be almost like a alternative of being more hyped up this year because of the pandemic. I know they had events such as Second Sunday so far. They would have had Soca and Mocha, right? Even though that was our next issue, so some people didn't enjoy that because there were lots and lots of technical issues. So some people couldn't watch it live, they had to rebroadcast it, and that's our next set of issue. And now it put like a jump on the whole Carnival vibes and the mood for the season. So some people they're not really taking a liking to the, our presence, stance, and where we have to be considering Carnival in a COVID time. However, this is just temporary.
Yeah, and again, like, if these things happen, it, like, God forbid that this goes on to next year. God forbid, but it's not that it's impossible for it to happen. It will be better next year. Like anything, like any new thing, it will be better.
I mean, fun fact, Carnival was actually cancelled for years back. It was cancelled during World War II. So from 1942 and 1945, there was no Carnival in Trinidad, right? And then in 1972, during the polio epidemic, similarities, during the polio epidemic, Carnival it wasn't cancelled, however, it was postponed. So they had a Carnival in May, however, it was a very rainy Carnival, so they couldn't do everything. However, as people in the past have gone through it, we're not going to die without 1 year of an active, full-out Carnival. Things have to be altered. The phrase, this too shall pass. All we need to do is encourage people to, if you can stay home as much as you can, stay home. So knowing that if you have some sort of autoimmune disease,
or if you and the people in your family have that,
don't put it on, well, this event is going to be following all the restrictions, so I'm going to take a chance on my life and I'm going to go because it's for the culture. But it's for my culture, right? Don't do that, right? They're having different virtual alternatives. They even having road match virtual, right? So all hope is not lost. It's not gonna say, okay, we're throwing away Carnival. I know it's gonna take a toll on different artisans and workers, domestic workers, artisans. Think of even the hairdressers.
Yeah, everybody, makeup artists, nail techs.
Right? And it's not going to last. However, all we could do is like stress that, everybody, adhere to all the COVID regulations on their daily lives.
Because that itself is what will help us to move out of the season by adhering.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that, you have to stay locked up in your house.
Mm-hmm.
But use your discretion when making decisions.
Yeah.
And once we adhere and once we flatten the curve, we will be out of it in no time.
Don't only wait until you're in an event, in a public space, and all of a sudden you start to feel a way like, oh, I need to all of a sudden put on my mask, or all of a sudden I need to go and wash my hand. Practice those things even when you're not at home, but also practice those things for people who you're comfortable with, because you just don't know, you don't want to take that chance.
Yeah.
Every potential chance you take, just know that there's still a possibility that you could either catch the virus or even spread it. So that is something that we don't want. And I guess it's just for everybody to be safe for Carnival. Be safe both with their lives and with their health this year, more importantly. Yep. And we wish everyone a very happy, safe Carnival despite everything.
No zesting and westing.
Yes, no illegal zesting, no illegal westing.
Right.
If you must just stay home, just stay home and hit on a concert, a virtual concert, log in and enjoy that vibe for yourself. Right, so I think that is all for this episode of the Island Vibe podcast. Be sure to check out a new episode every week on Thursday. So, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.